Hey, hey, Blue Table fans. We're here with assembly expert Roberto.
Hola.
That's right. And he's going to show you some tips, tricks, and tactics. In fact, he was telling me ahead of time what he was going to do, and I actually think even I, the most amazing hobbyist you're likely to ever...
Oz.
That is correct. I am probably going to learn something new from Roberto today. Look at that, blowing on the miniature. Brilliant.
So you get like Roberto, like germs, not germs.
My essence is imbued
essence.
into the model itself.
Yeah, every model.
I think cooties.
Cooties.
So
Cooties
what I was
is the
doing,
word that you're looking for. Oh, by the way, so you can see the other participants here. Here's Kelly. Kelly. Me. Okay, go ahead.
So what I was doing was applying too much super glue to this model.
Okay.
Reason being, let's say you're at a tournament, you're at the local game store, an arm breaks off, something goes wrong.
An arm broke. Ah, 2 arms broke off.
And
it's a travesty.
You need a quick fix. So you're not paying a whole lot of attention, you just want to get back in the game.
Right.
So you just glue it on there,
Slap
maybe
it
use
on.
accelerant.
Yeah, Zart.
Either way.
The blowing again.
So I like to use the Hobby Stop Instaset and the Zip Kicker. I like this stuff. It makes my job significantly easier. But you do one too many field repairs and the model's all gunked up. The little socket it was supposed to sit in is completely filled in with super glue.
I get a picture of the gunk.
Yeah. So after a while of so many emergency repairs, it's going to look bad. You have this huge gap in the model. And the breakage is because of weak super glue. Every time you glue it, you're getting extra bubbles, extra cracks in the super glue, and you keep building it up, but it's weak. It's
Right.
not connected as it should. And so what I have here is just a basic razor blade and a drill set so you can clean those sockets out. So you want to, as close as you can, follow the edge of the surface and just try to pick that all off. You want to get down to the base metal because
it's like a crusty booger.
if you don't get down to the base metal, you're just putting glue on glue.
So gross. Crusty booger.
Yep.
So, and luckily for us, this model has that nice little pin right there. We want to try and preserve that.
If I ever had a dessert shop, that's what it would be called.
The crusty booger.
Yeah. That explains why I'm so successful in business.
I wonder if you
good at
could get that
naming
like
things.
translated into French or one of the romantics language, so it sounds like, oh, that must be something fancy.
Le bouguer crusté. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, it's like picking a scab.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It's like,
Yeah.
The
guys.
kid loves that.
Do you have salty wenches at yours?
Salty winches. Yeah.
All right, so
That's
we've
awesome.
cleaned the surface, but that
Could be worse.
is still filled in.
Like you could open a Chinese food restaurant next to a veterinarian.
Cat in a box. All right, so we're down to just that little socket filled with glue. Now you can take the
Okay.
tip of the razor blade, kind of stab it in there and twist. Now you don't want to push too hard. The blades have a tendency to break, and you don't want this thing slipping because it is near your fingers.
Yes.
Now that's going to take a while, so I brought along a little drill bit set,
Okay.
and
Let me get a shot of the drill bit set.
it's like, guys, this is going to take some work, but it's worth it. It'll stop breaking. You get down to the base metal.
Okay. So now we're pretending you actually have a pin vise or something to
Yeah.
do this. Okay. You should get a shot of this too. Yeah. Here goes Kelly. Taking a picture. There we go. Taking a picture. Taking a picture.
Taking care of business every day.
Quality work takes time. But you need to get that glue out. Okay, so
Okay, what's next?
After using the drill bits, we got that all cleaned out.
Right.
Now, we could just glue it right back on,
Right.
but I'm going to do something that I believe is called crosshatching. Now, the metal surface of a model is a little rough, and the surface area is what the glue is sticking to, any imperfections in the metal. Now we're going to take a blade and kind of gouge around. Now this, you can go a little heavy, you can go light. Either way, just be real careful with it. It's kind of detail work. Now the reason you want to cut into the metal lightly, but all over where the connection is that it creates imperfections. So now the surface of the metal is jagged. That gives us significantly more surface area for the glue to stick to. We're going to do this to both portions. Any flat surfaces that come together, you can do this to. It'll be kind of hidden. The more you gouge, though, the more it's going to want to separate a bit. There's going to create a little bit of a distance. So you don't want to gouge too deep, just enough to get the imperfections into the surface. Now this should make the bond significantly stronger. This is something you can do if you don't have a pinning set.
Now is that gel type super glue?
It's kind of a medium gel.
Okay.
So it's a little thin, not too thick. So press it in there as good as you can. You don't want to use too much glue that it's pouring out. It's
Right.
not going to help the joint. Anything that's sticking is already in there. So, and there
I
you
should
go.
point out this is just a scrap model that we picked up.
Yeah, it's, as you can tell, it's one of the older Space Marine models. It was kind of in the bits bin.
All right.
So now
And
that
so that actually will stick better.
it should be
that you roughed it
significantly
up.
stronger than
Wow.
the original joint.
Now I did not know that. Okay, what's next?
So I was going to show you just the cross-hatching on the larger models. Sometimes you get these models that have these weird connection points. This one has the 2 dots. Now you could go through and get a pinning set and get that taken care of, but because we don't have a pinning set on hand.
Well, we do.
We do, but let's
that's
say
the scenario.
that's the
put in
scenario that you don't have one. We
Okay.
do, but again, this is one of the older models, so we're just
Right.
going to show you what to do in case you don't have one. So, but you have these larger crevices. Put the tip of the blade near the center and then just kind of push out.
Uh-huh.
This will give you kind of a similar to the cross-hatching technique. You're creating those imperfections, so the glue has much more to stick to. Again, you never want to be cutting towards yourself.
That's right, Boy Scouts. Always cut towards yourself. So
Cut.
if you slip, you won't hurt someone that's passing by.
I said you don't want to cut towards yourself. You want to cut away.
Yes.
Wrong again.
Don't listen to Sean.
This is what you do not do. Now let this be a lesson to you.
That's right.
It's cool to only do it one time and then, you know, after that, it's a finger.
That's right.
Oh, the stove is hot. Maybe I shouldn't touch that. So, a little story time. When I was about 5 or 6, I didn't quite know what the cigarette lighter was in the family car. My parents never
Oh,
used it.
wow.
That little
Yeah.
thing was just always kind of plugged in.
Yeah.
And so one day I pull it out, I was like, it's glowing red. I wonder what this is. And so I pressed my thumb to it.
Yeah.
And so for the
Oh.
first few years of my life, I had a nice little spiral scar on the end of my thumb.
Wow.
Look at this. You can only see the top of it now.
Do you have one
I did
too,
that
You
Kelly?
did the same thing?
Yeah, I did the same
Oh,
thing.
wow. That's awesome.
I don't have a fingerprint.
Remind me
on my
to tell you about waffle buns, okay?
Waffle buns.
Yeah.
So that's a story for another time.
That was my nickname when I was 4.
thumb. Oh my god.
Yeah, I backed into one of those old 70s heaters in the bathroom wall.
Oh.
And yeah,
Waffle bum.
yep. It's
That's
pretty
why.
bad. So I had like crosshatch
That's
waffle
why
shape
Tammy likes you, huh?
burgers. Yeah, she loves that.
It's all those
like-
extra features that you don't get on the regular
Like when I
models.
get home and the syrup is out, I know there's trouble.
Wow.
No.
So,
Hey, you not only did you get your assembly tips, can we see that? The people can't see what you're doing.
so I did some pretty heavy
Hold on, not only do you get your assembly tips, but you also get too much information.
So on these larger models, I did some pretty heavy gouging.
Okay.
So a lot of these have slight gaps to begin with, so you can use
Right.
a little bit of extra super glue, not enough that's pouring out.
Right.
But so gouge it pretty good and just seat it
All right.
in there. Make sure it's all clean. It's going to sit properly before you do any of that. And even with just the super glue, it's already holding together.
Right. Wow, that's amazing.
So I'm going to let it sit a few more seconds
Okay,
just
great.
to let it cure properly. I don't want to be too crazy with it. But after a minute, I should be able to drop this on the floor and it'll hold together.
Wow. Okay. Hey, thanks a lot, Roberto.
You're welcome.
Go
All
ahead.
right, drop test.
Woo!
Hey, it made it.
Still
Awesome.
good.